So I've been married for almost 6 years now, and for the most part, I'd say things have been pretty solid between me and my wife. We have a son together, or at least I thought we did, who's 6 years old. You know, the usual story. Met, fell in love, got married, had a kid. We have a nice house, good jobs, and from the outside looking in, everything probably seems perfect. But in the last year or so, things haven't been as smooth as they used to be. It's hard to explain, but there were these subtle moments, small things you could easily brush off, like we didn't talk as much as we used to, or there'd be these weird silences after I'd ask her about her day. Sometimes she'd get defensive over nothing, or when I'd ask about something related to our son like school or his friends, she'd answer, but there'd be a pause first. I guess I chalked it up to regular marriage stuff. Everyone goes through rough patches, right? Anyway, recently something happened that's thrown my entire world upside down. Our son, let's call him Jay for the sake of this story, got sick. At first we thought it was just a typical cold, but after a few days he wasn't getting any better. So we took him to the doctor. The usual tests were done, and they said it was probably just a virus. But as parents do, we worried, so we asked for more tests just to be safe. That's when things got weird. The doctor started asking about family medical history, whether there was any history of certain diseases on my side or my wife's. We went through the typical stuff, but the doctor seemed a little concerned. There was some question about genetic markers, something about treatments that work better with certain genetic backgrounds. Honestly, a lot of it went over my head at first, but my wife seemed more on edge than usual. At the time, I didn't think much of it, just figured it was her worrying about our son like I was. But then the doctor requested more tests. These weren't just your standard blood tests. They were digging into some deeper genetic stuff. I didn't ask too many questions, trusting that they knew what they were doing. But after a few more appointments, the doctor pulled me aside and told me that some of the genetic markers they were looking for weren't adding up with my side of the family. I didn't know what that meant, so I asked for clarification. The doctor, trying to be as gentle as possible, explained that Jay's genetic profile didn't seem to match mine at all. And that's when it hit me. Something was wrong, really wrong. After the appointment, I confronted my wife. I didn't know how else to approach it, so I just asked her outright, "Is there something you're not telling me?" I expected her to get defensive, to push back like she had in the past, but she didn't. She got quiet, real quiet. We went home, and later that night, after Jay had gone to bed, she sat me down. She said she needed to tell me something that she should have told me a long time ago. That's when she dropped the bomb. Jay isn't my biological son. I didn't know what to say. I think I just sat there, frozen, trying to process what I'd just heard. She told me that when we met, she had recently split up with her ex-husband. I knew about the ex. She'd told me they'd had a messy breakup, and I'd assumed that was the end of it. But apparently she'd been pregnant when they split, something she never mentioned. She told me she was scared, that when she found out she was pregnant, her ex-husband didn't want anything to do with the baby. He walked away, didn't want to be involved at all, and she didn't want to raise the child alone. So when we got together, she saw me as someone who could be a good father figure for her child. And when Jay was born, she let me believe he was mine. The more she talked, the more it felt like the ground was falling out from under me. I asked her why she never told me, why she let me believe that Jay was my son for all these years. She said she didn't want to lose me, that she thought I would have left her if I knew. And once we got married,